Illinois will take on Maryland in the quarterfinals of the Big Ten tournament in what promises to be the most entertaining game of the entire slate, I think, Cart. I think the nation's eyes will be upon this one. Two teams that have extremely high ceilings that I also think believe that they're peaking at the right time. What do you expect in this matchup?
Yeah, I think that I mean we just did the was it the Michigan State Oregon preview, and I asked you like where does Oregon fall like in the Big Ten team rankings?
Hmm.
And you had Oregon fourth, correct?
I did.
And you had these two teams second and third respectively.
Second and third.
Yeah, so I think that it's going to be an interesting matchup. A lot of storylines outside of this too earlier in the year without Big T, I believe it was in that game. You got to check who was sick and who wasn't sick or who was hurt and who wasn't hurt at that time. Maryland came into State Farm and laid an ass whooping on the boys and were able to score in the paint at will. And there's a theory that if they have Big T, that'll somewhat prevent them from scoring at the rim. I have questions about that, but um, I think that this is a different Illinois team than that one that played in that game. I think there's been some role shifts. Kylan Boswell the last 4 or 5 games has been incredible. Trey White's now not collecting DNPs. He's been very productive. Will Riley has emerged as a star, a starter. Ben Henrichhouse has taken a step back. And Big T is back and healthy and being productive. So it's going to be a very high level game. You have two really good front court players for Maryland and some good wings and guards and Jacoby Gillespie. And probably, like I say on every Maryland video, Maryland has the best starting five in the Big Ten. Outside of that, though, they probably had the worst bench in the Big Ten. It might as well not be there. They just take up seats. But that starting five is tough. They're good and they're talented.
Yeah. So I still believe this Maryland team rocks. I like them in a single elimination setting because I think their best five is as good as anybody's, as you mentioned. I don't know that I love them in like a win 3 games in 3 days setting because outside of their best five, they have nothing.
Mhm.
Illinois, I think, will roll out 10 deep and use their depth and really lean on it in this spot. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see how Maryland approaches this one. The other thing that needs to be said, Brad Underwood, 3-11. Actually, that goes even before Brad. The Illinois program is 3-11 against Maryland in their last 14 meetings outright.
Mm.
Crazy.
That's really crazy.
Crazy. But it is, you think back to some of these games, like Underwood's lost at home twice in a row. Lost 4 of 5 in Champaign to Maryland with Brad Underwood as head coach.
The Turks got his number?
Kind of crazy. A lot of that predated Kevin Willard, but this is, I think if you're an Illinois fan, it's kind of, we've talked about how there's certain coaches, certain teams that maybe have your number. This is probably not the team you wanted to see. Counterpoint, we said that about Purdue, and Illinois welcomed them bitches into State Farm Center, got a little vulgar, and got a win.
Well, yeah, this is a swing game because obviously that win at home against Purdue is great. And they have flipped the switch after that Duke loss, right? They beat Michigan on the road handedly. They handle I forgot who they beat after that. Was it Purdue that they beat after that? I'm not really sure. I got to think back on it. But this Illinois team has flipped the switch and they've won games. Now, they could really make a statement that this team might be different, and we'll get some tweets from our favorite people about their ceiling if they're able to beat this Maryland team, because that'll be a stretch run for them where I think it's a big enough sample size that this team is different. And I'm not saying they're not, because I think it's fair to say like with Trey White playing the way he is, actually playing, and Will Riley being like this do it all star, and Kasparis taking a little of a back seat somewhat. This team has really excelled.
I'm dying it with Trey White playing the way he is playing. That's the way he is. He's playing. Um, okay, you mentioned the first matchup. It was a 21-point win for Maryland in the State Farm Center. This was one of the earliest big warning sign games for Illinois. This was kind of before they had a lot of their issues that ended up really plaguing this team. Dangerous, dangerous game where we all came away with it like, oh my God, what happened? Benham Rickhouse played 26 minutes in that game, went 0 for 3 from the floor, 0 points. No Tom Ivisic was the big thing. So you had 19 Merez Johnson minutes. He had 4 fouls in 19 minutes. They played 21 minutes of this game with no Merez, no Tom Ivisic. Carey Booth played 13 minutes. And you may be asking yourself, well, surely Will Riley got a lot of minutes, right? No. Will Riley played 17 minutes, 0 for 2 from the floor.
Yeah, no. Queen and Reese had them boys in hell.
Well, Queen and Reese had them boys in hell, but like, what boys?
Well, there's a reason they had. That's the reason he had 4 fouls.
The only one with 4 fouls was Merez.
Well, and I'm saying, but everyone
Big
else
T had
could.
mono, not 4 fouls.
Well, he couldn't check. That's what I'm saying.
You're gonna say Big T couldn't check without being there?
No, no, I'm saying on Rickhouse, everyone who played in that front court could not check Maryland's front court.
Because it was from Rickhouse and Booth, though.
That
They
doesn't change with Big T there.
they can't check you.
Okay, but here's why I'm coming full circle on here. This doesn't change with Big T down there.
Strongly disagree.
Okay,
Not even necessarily about the defensive side of it, but it's different because of what Big T gives you offensively. In the
that's
first
fair.
game,
That's fair.
Merez was basically just trying to keep up with the bigs without being able to make them pay. Big T is going to stretch these bigs out.
Hmm.
Like you saw him. He first 2 plays of the Iowa game. What would he do? Bang, bang from 3. We're here. I'm 7-1. My name's Ivisic, and I'm the good one. I have a beard. Like, respectfully, Derek Queen's a good player. I'm not going to disrespect him again. If there's one guy in the league that I think could pose problems defensively for a guy like Derek Queen, it is Big T because he's going to demand that he is locked in the entire game, knowing where he is on the perimeter, not falling asleep, which has been an issue for Derek Queen at times.
Yeah, yeah, sure. I think so. I mean, eh, I it'll be interesting to see how it changes if Big T hits his first one or two. I think
So
because, like
you're
you said, in the Iowa game, he came out and he banged two right away. Purdue game, actually, I think he started off like 0 for 2, but then he ended up hitting two. Um, I don't know. I think Derek Queen will be just fine with the Visage. I think you just gotta make sure that you're up on him. He's not gonna really put the ball on the floor, go past you or anything like that. And Derek Queen's got great hands and good feet. I'm not really too concerned about him checking Big T at all.
okay.
Yeah.
You've never seen a matchup for Derek Queen you haven't loved.
No, no, that's not it.
It would be fine if it was it. He's the first team All Big Ten center.
I don't consider Big T a good defender, and I actually think Derek Queen's an underrated defender. I don't think he gets enough credit for what he does defensively.
I wouldn't say Big T's a good defender either, but I would say he's big.
He is big,
And I
hence the
think
Big
you
T.
think you just need somebody big to disrupt Maryland a little.
He will disrupt them more than the other options. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I think bodes well, is all I'm saying.
100%.
Okay. All right. What's the biggest key to this game?
Hmm. What is the biggest key? I mean, personally, I think they need I love that these other guys are stepping up, but I think to beat teams of Maryland's caliber, you need more from Kasparis.
That's the opposite of my hypothesis.
Okay.
Why do you
What
think
is
that?
Because I mean, but if is Kasparis a star or is he not a star?
He's a really great player.
Because I feel like we talk about him like he's a star, but then like when it comes to like judge him as a star, it's like, well, no, he's accepting his role.
We talk about him like Brad talked about him. By definition, he's a star. He's going to go top 7 in the draft. So is Yegor Demon. Star, right? They're stars.
Yeah, I don't think either of them are, but um,
Yegor Demon vacating the star role is what made BYU great. And I stand by, I think that's what needs to happen for Illinois down the stretch here. You don't want Kasparis to be your everything. You want him to be the sauce.
Did they vacate it or are they just not that?
Let Will Riley be the nuggets. Let Kasparis be the sauce.
Is that what it is?
I know you love a saucy nugget.
I do love a saucy
You've
nugget.
never seen a saucy nugget you haven't indulged.
I never seen a saucy nugget. I had not never seen one I didn't want to indulge in. This week we talked a lot about Illinois tonight and recaps and things like that, and it accumulates to this point for me. This has been great. They have played better. Trey White's hitting threes. Kylan Boswell has been great. Will Riley has been great. Is that what it's going to keep on being, you think?
I'm giving myself a shoulder rub because I'm stressed at what I'm about to do.
Oh, no.
Let's get to our predictions. KenPom has Maryland is a 1 point favorite. 3 seed is a 1 point favorite over the 6 seed. Illinois is plus money. Sportsbooks have it at plus 110. A neutral dog ain't dog. It's I don't know what type of dog it is. I'm a hyena, maybe.
Makes sense.
Do Lithuanians have dogs?
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyways, what's your prediction? Who wins?
I got Maryland winning this game, which there you go, Illinois fans. Your favorite thing to do when we pick against Illinois, they win. I truly believe that Maryland's going to win this basketball game. I think Maryland is the better basketball team. Truthfully, I do. They were then when they beat them in State Farm, and they still are to this day, even with Illinois getting better. So I'm gonna take Maryland to win this game. I think it'll be high scoring, so I'm gonna go Maryland 87, Illinois 82.
I look forward to 7 different Illinois players being tagged in a tweet clipping you saying that they're going to lose. Shoulder rub. I fell for it.
Mm-hmm.
I said I wouldn't fall for it, and I just fell for it in the last 3 hours, Card. I have fallen for it. I'm picking Illinois to win. I think this turnaround is real, and I think it's a real turnaround because their identity is different. People want me to care that Maryland beat this Illinois team by 21 when the version of this Illinois team that Brad Underwood put on the floor thought Benham Rickhouse was their third best player. Will Riley was an afterthought. He played 5 less minutes than Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, and he had 0 fouls. Brad was tripping, and it was somewhat understandable because of sicknesses and absences and weird shit. But at that point in the season, Brad thought Kasparis was everything. We got nothing else. Will Riley's broken. Rickhouse will make shots at some point, be tougher. It was a losing plan. And Maryland was fortunate to get them at that point in the season and not get them at the end of the season when Illinois has figured it out. I'm taking the bait. I'm taking the plus money. I think Illinois is the better team. I think their depth is going to come into play. And quite frankly, I think Maryland has not seen Tomovicic or Will Riley, who are the 2 best players on Illinois right now. It's a whole different ball game when those 2 get going. I'm back in my Illini.
And you know what? Anytime you want to get back, make sure you play Michigan and Iowa twice, and you'll feel so good.
You damn Skippy, we will. We'll have a recap up too. Thanks for watching.